And here are some of the capital market news that made headline in the week. Well, capital market operators who failed to renew their registration at the expiration of late filing on May the 31st will not be allowed to carry out their operations. According to a statement released by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the move is aimed at reducing licenses of unethical practices by operators and to strengthen supervision and monitoring. In the meantime, the Securities and Exchange Commission now plans to register brokers selling stocks of foreign companies as more Nigerians pile into the assets to hedge against inflation and currency weakness. The regulator wants to draw a curtain on a period that saw legions of young Nigerians turn to online platforms to invest in stocks and digital currencies. The need to protect savings took on more urgency after the central bank devalued the local currency 3 times within a year, while inflation accelerated at the fastest pace in 4 years. And rating agency S&P Global is the latest to comment on the FBNH board changes. The rating agency says the recent changes to the boards of FBN Holding and its subsidiary First Bank of Nigeria by the central bank has addressed corporate governance challenges and ensured the banking sector's financial stability. A statement released by S&P explains that while the recent actions may be disruptive in the near term, it may signal a more direct supervisory approach to alleged failings in the management and governance of regulated institutions. However, S&P hints that the bank's overall credit profile has gradually stabilized since 2016 with a capital adequacy ratio of 17% in 2020 as against a 15% minimum requirement. Okay, joining me now to look at the Nigerian equities market in the week is the Registrar, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, Adedeji Ajadi. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajadi, for joining me on the show.
Thank you.
Well, it was a short week for the market. Well, you guys are back from your holidays, so activities have started again. And we saw the bull make a comeback. How would you describe the week?
Yeah, that was a very positive week for the capital market. Light at the end of the tunnel, because if you notice right from the very beginning of May, it's been a season of the bears, and it could be discouraging. But once in a while, it's good that you see the market come back strong, just like we saw during the week. So that it was positive for the capital market.
So light at the end of the tunnel. Are you saying that this positive trend that we have seen this week is going to be sustained? And if you're talking about sustainability, how long is that going to be?
Well, I'm not going to say that. What I would say is that it shows us once more that markets run in cycles. So you have a cycles of the bear, you have a period of the bears, and then the bulls come back strong. So people who are already getting discouraged when they see that pullback in the market, once they see that the bulls are coming back, it shows that, look, these changes are cyclical and temporary. So it gives confidence that, look, even if the market is not doing too well, somewhere along the line, something positive will come back again. So I think that's the signal that shows, and for me, it is good.
All right, so let's look at some of the news that came out during the week. We saw the Securities and Exchange Commission come out with plans to register brokers selling stocks of foreign companies. How is this move being viewed by the stockbrokers community?
Long awaited. I think that's a very good one too from the SEC. We have always thought that this segment of the market should be regulated. While it is good for Nigerians to have opportunities to invest, but there must be adequate regulation to ensure that people don't lose their money and that credible players are involved in that space. We've not had that for quite a while, but now that the SEC has come up strongly to say, look, this will be regulated, I think it's a very good one for the market.
Has there been some kind of infractions in doing in the process? I mean, for you guys that have been doing that, selling of the foreign stocks?
No, not everybody does that. I know what has happened over the period or the years is that those who have been doing that have actually done it on the back of existing stockbrokers as well. But it also needs to be regulated. Fintech needs to be regulated more in line with our own rules in Nigeria. So that's positive, even though we have not had major challenges. But we don't need to wait until that happens before the regulation comes in. So I think it's a good move by the SEC.
All right, another one is SEC coming out with a reminder to operators to renew their registration. How far have your members gone in complying with this directive? Because I think this is just a reminder.
Yeah.
I mean, they had come out with that earlier in the year.
Generally, players in the market are expected to do that. If there is a provision for registration, I mean, it is expected that they should register, and a lot of people have been doing that. It's just a reminder for those who have not done it to go and do the right thing. And it is important because it's part of the regulatory process to ensure that, you know, those who are operating the market are qualified to do so. They have all the requisite requirement to be able to operate in the market. So that's okay. That's good.
Okay, so another one. I mean, First Bank, you know, that has been that company has been in the news for some time now, and this week we saw S&P come out with a statement that indicates it's in support of the board changes to a reasonable extent. And then you will recall that Moody's had announced that it would review its ratings and assessment of FBN for a downgrade, while Fitch, you know, on its part, said the change in the board won't affect the institution's profitability and asset quality, and affirmed First Bank's rating at B- with a negative outlook. What do you make of these perceived conflicting statements from these rating agencies? Well,
maybe my own general perception is that it gives a lot more confidence when you see that the regulator comes in at the right time to sanitize the market when they think something is going wrong. So for me, I think I align more with the position of the second rating agency that just said, look, this should not affect fundamentally the performance of the company, because the fundamentals of the companies are there. It's just at the board level. So, but secondly, regulation also gives us that confidence that the regulator is not just sleeping. When something is about to go wrong, they need to step in and correct it, and which is what the CBN has done in this particular case. So it's supposed to be positive, even for the bank and for the company.
Okay. Now, as we go into the new week, particularly looking at the week that we're expecting some kind of data, we have inflation numbers coming out on Monday. That's 17th. Yeah. And of course, the GDP number. And don't forget, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting is expected to also meet. That's on the 24th and the 25th. Yeah. So what should we be expecting in the market in the week to come?
Unfortunately, the situation with inflation has not abated. Inflation is a worry. Not only in Nigeria, in some other parts of the world, as you read in the news, in the U.S. market, inflation is a big problem. And as much as possible, the CBN will want to do something to moderate it. I don't see any major change in the policy pronouncement at this particular point. But what we need to do is to see what we can do to handle inflation. Until that is done, it will always have a negative impact on the market, on the capital market. And that's the challenge we've been having. So until something happens, inflation is moderated, and the macroeconomy would have a lot to do in ensuring that we achieve that. So I really don't see any major drastic change in the coming week, in terms of policy decisions to be made. So we should still expect volatility in the market until we have some really strong positive signals that would drive the market up positively. We just manage ourselves for now.
Well, the earnings seasons are actually gradually tapering, and of course, expectation for the second quarter. Okay, and do you see that also driving sentiment in any way?
Yes, as expectations of earnings coming, as we get closer to when those earnings results will start coming in, then there will be more positive signals, expectation as companies will do well. And they've not disappointed. Companies have actually done well despite the challenges of the time. So I think positive expectation of earnings would have some positive impact on the result in the market in the coming weeks.
All right. Again, in the coming week, the NGX says it's launching what it called the stock Africa is made of. What is this all about, and what should we be expecting?
The NGX has gone through a process of transformation. It's now a demutualized exchange. It has subsidiaries now. It's a group company that has 3 subsidiaries. A whole lot of changes happening around the Nigerian exchange group. And so it's important for the public to know, to understand what the new brand identity of the NGX is about, and to see how we can benefit both locally and internationally. So I think the most important thing about this is this campaign to ensure that the public understands what is happening at the NGX and to be able to key into the opportunities that will come with it.
All right, I guess that event is scheduled for Tuesday, I guess, so we look forward to that. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajadi, for being with us this evening. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Adedeji Ajadi is the Registrar, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers.